So now guys, let's get into where we might actually see or have pain if we have an Achilles tendinopathy. So where in the base of our foot do we get pain if we've got an Achilles tendinopathy? Well, the two most common places is one, a mid-portion tendinopathy, where when exercising we get pain around this mid-portion of the Achilles here, which is quite sore to touch most often, especially in an acute presentation. And in a chronic presentation, although it may or may not be sore to touch, it quite often is thicker. The actual tendon itself is thicker in width compared to the other side. Now the second subcategory that we have is a compressive tendinopathy. Now what this is pain more towards the base of the heel, especially when we're doing inclined activities or any activities that requires our ankle to be in dorsiflexion or in an upwards position as seen here. Because what happens is that Achilles has to wrap around the base of the heel there and can be stressed by being in that position. So those are the two main categories that we'll be talking about today and the most common that you'll get with an Achilles tendinopathy.
So let's take a look at someone that actually has an Achilles tendinopathy. So what we can see here is that Jeff has left-sided Achilles pain that gets worse when he runs longer distances. He has thickness of his left Achilles as seen here, with pain over the mid portion when we touch it, but no pain at the base. So at the moment we're sort of thinking this is a mid-portion chronic Achilles tendinopathy. He's got 3 centimeters of thickness on the left-hand side and then 2 centimeters of thickness on the right-hand side, which is a pretty reasonable finding, which tells us that this has been a chronic ongoing issue as it's a third bigger on his left compared to his right. When chatting to Jeff further, he tells me that he's got a long history of pain with that Achilles for a number of years and that he started to get even more pain lately, but a decrease in power on his left side, which is the main reason that he came in. So now let's go on to look at Jeff when he's exercising. So what we can see here, he's light on his feet, there's not much sound when he lands, and he's getting good propulsion in the air. So let's have a look at what he's like on his injured leg. So we can hear from Jeff straight away that the sound is heavier. He's not as springy on that side. You can hear that he fatigues out quite quickly at the end there. So what we can see with someone like Jeff here is that he's heavier, meaning that he's weaker. He's using his left quad on his injured side to help throw himself up, as well as his opposite leg as well to generate that upwards force. So now this is something that you can do at home. You can video yourself, watch yourself hop and see if there's any differences. And we might want to go further and actually test each muscle, the gastroc and soleus, individually. And there's a video that'll show you how to do that here. So in this video, we're looking at Jeff on his right leg, working his soleus muscle because his knee is bent in this situation. And as we can see here, he's got nice big calf development on that side. He's nice and strong. Now, when we get to his left leg, which is his injured side, you'll notice that he's actually quite smaller through his calf as well as the Achilles being thickened, and that he's quite shaky and weak on that side. So once you've worked out how weak you are with your own injury, which once again you can do through that ankle assessment video of mine, which will tell you how weak you are on your injured versus your uninjured, and then it'll give you the exact number of reps that you need to get back to, plus a little bit more to protect yourself from further injury in regards to strengthening your calf. So you'll probably be quite surprised with the difference that you'll find, as we found with Jeff here. Even when doing just bent knee soleus raises, which we'll get to in a second, he was quite shaky even when he's got his right leg helping out with his left. Also found in that ankle assessment video is just looking at how much flexibility you have through your actual ankle joint itself. Although it's not a predictive factor of an Achilles injury, it's still important to have a nice healthy ankle joint that moves well. So once again, please go through and do that assessment to find how flexible you are, because if you have deficits here, we want to address them as well.